Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that so many of you are curious about, Australia's third working holiday visa. That's the Subclass 417. And we're going to cut through all the noise and get right to the facts, using the official government source for the clearest info you can get. So let me guess. You've done your first year, you've finished your second, and now that little thought is creeping into your head, isn't it? Could I do just one more year? That idea of having another whole year to explore, work, and live in Australia, yeah, it's a pretty powerful dream. Well, I've got good news. The Subclass 417 visa can absolutely make that happen. The whole point of this explainer is to walk you through all the key details, straight from the Department of Home Affairs, so you know exactly what you're looking at. So, let's get into it. Okay, first up, let's cover the absolute fundamentals. You know, the big questions. How much time do you get, and how much is it going to cost? It's pretty simple, really. If your application gets the green light, this visa gives you another full year. That's 12 more months to live and work in Australia. That's another 365 days to keep your adventure going. Now for the price tag. As of right now, the application fee is 670 Australian dollars. But, and this is really important to remember, government fees can and do change. So you should always double check the official website for the most up-to-date price when you're about to apply. All right, let's shift gears to the most important part of this whole thing. Are you even eligible? Think of this next bit as your personal checklist. Let's see if you tick all the boxes. So let's run through it. The first one is a biggie. You must have already held two previous Subclass 417 visas. You'll need a passport from an eligible country, of course, and you have to be in the right age range, which is typically 18 to 30, but it does get bumped up to 35 for a few countries. And pay close attention to these last points. This is a solo mission. You cannot bring dependent children with you, and you have to apply as an individual, not with your family. Now, of all those rules we just went through, there is one that, for most people, is the biggest hurdle. It's the one that really requires you to plan ahead. And here it is. You absolutely must have completed 6 months of what's called specified work. And the timing here is critical. It has to be done while you're on your second working holiday visa, not before, not after. This usually means jobs in regional Australia. Think farming, construction, tourism, and it is a 100% non-negotiable requirement. Okay, so let's imagine you meet all the criteria. What does this third year actually feel like? Let's break down the perks versus the rules, what you can do and what you can't. So there's a real balance here. On the one hand, you get some amazing freedoms. You can do short-term work to fund your travels, you can study for up to 4 months, and you can fly in and out of Australia as much as you want within that year. But on the other hand, those key conditions are firm. It's worth repeating. No dependent children, and it has to be an individual application. We've gone over the basics, the eligibility rules, and the conditions. So let's get to the final stage, the application itself and some really important official advice you need to hear. The question everyone asks is, how long will it take? Well, the government does have a processing time tool on their website, but they're very clear that it's just an estimate. It's based on recent applications, and if they get a huge number of them at once, things can slow down. So the key here is to be patient. And that brings us to what is possibly the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. This is a direct quote from the Department of Home Affairs. Do not arrange travel to Australia before we tell you in writing that we have granted your visa. I'm going to say it again. Don't book that flight. Don't quit your job. Do not make any major plans until you have that official visa grant notice in your hands. Seriously. So, what's your game plan from here? It's pretty simple. First, go back through that eligibility checklist and be really honest with yourself. Second, make absolutely sure you've completed and documented your 6 months of specified work. Third, start getting all your documents together and prepare that application. And finally, if it all feels a bit overwhelming, remember the government website can point you to people who can officially help you out. So there you have it. We've walked through all the official facts, the time, the cost, that critical work rule, and the major warnings. Now, the question really is for you to answer. Armed with all this information, is a third year down under going to be your next chapter?